Part 154. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1531. Hiding in the Small World of Shushan Pavilion. Although there is a risk of exposing the small world of Shushan Pavilion, but now, that's the only way to do it. Fang Fan swallowed a mouthful of saliva, then tensed his nerves, folded his hands in front of his body, his eyes flickered with light, such thoughts were churning in his mind, and gradually came back to reality. Brat Fang Fan. This time, you owe labor and management another huge favor. Turn around and show filial piety to labor and management. Be polite to labor and management. Suddenly there was a tyrannical sound, and Bai Piao, who was soaked in blood, soared into the air, colliding directly with the 5-star sanctuary powerhouse of the Dark Camp. Obviously, he is a 5-star sanctuary expert who wants to fight against the Dark Camp with his own strength. Fang Fan's eyes moved slightly, and it must be a lie to say that he didn't feel any emotion at all. Even if there is any special emotion in his heart at this moment, he can only put it in his heart silently. Court Death. Zago, the deputy lord of the Black Sky Demon sect, saw Bai Piao rushing towards him, with a sarcasm on his face. From his perspective, Bai Piao was nothing more than a king cultivator. Such an existence, if he stepped on it, countless people would be crushed to death. Zago lightly waved the weapon in his hand, ready to chop Bai Piao in half. Clang. What he heard was not the sound of bones cracking and swords piercing into flesh, but the sound of metal colliding. Zaku was stunned for a moment, then fell into a long silence. He didn't know how the situation became like this. Anyway, he is very confused now, so confused that he burst. Now he doesn't know what to say, he is completely speechless. How can it be? When did my knife become so blunt? I can't even kill a king-level minion. No. It's not like that, absolutely not. Something went wrong, there must be something wrong. Damn, where did the problem come from? Zaku bit his lip and his body twitched unnaturally, his eyes were condensed in front of his eyes, and his whole body was in a state of extreme collapse. He glanced behind him, and the red-clothed archbishop from the Temple of the Alliance of Light had rushed over. He had to make a quick decision. Asshole! Kill! 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 Zaku went all out and launched several attacks on Bai Piao one after another. Puff! 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 Bai Piao also vomited several mouthfuls of blood, and his whole body fell into a state of extreme lethargy. At this moment, he didn't even have the desire to scream, and his whole body was in a paralyzed state. Bai Piao! Fang Fan stood in the sky and yelled, his eyes instantly turned blood red. Although he has always joked that Bai Piao is a humanoid meat tank, there is no specific criterion for judging his defensive ability from beginning to end. For Fang Fan, everything seemed relatively strange. Every time Fang Fan felt that Bai Piao had reached the limit, this guy seemed to be able to stimulate a wave of potential. Fang Fan, don't worry, this attack, puff, this attack still, can't hurt me, puff. While Bai Piao was yelling, he spit out a mouthful of reverse blood immediately after, his whole body swayed, his gaze became slack for a while, and his body trembled to the extreme involuntarily. There is nothing that one healing card can't solve. If it can't be solved, then two. Bai Piao yelled optimistically. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1532. Super strong defensive power, coupled with the support of one after another healing cards. As long as Bai Piao is not killed by a single move, his life is not in danger. Fang Fan took a deep breath secretly, and his suspended heart gradually sank. This guy Bai Piao usually looks quite unscrupulous, but at critical moments, he is as reliable as ever. Devil! Go to hell! At this moment, Nangang Lei, the red-clothed Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, has arrived. Come with him, and his super combat power. In the same 5-star sanctuary realm, who can compete with whom? At this time, Zagu, the deputy lord of the Black Sky Demon sect, was still going all out to attack Bai Biao, completely exposing his back, and by the time he reacted, it was completely over. Nangang Lei's attack hit the Zaku's back. Puff. Zaku spat out a mouthful of reverse blood, and his body fell crazily. Damn bastard! You actually sneak attack. I will never forget you. I will always hunt you down. I want you all to die, all of you. Remember me, I am the Dark Camp, Zaku, the deputy suzerain of the Black Sky Demon sect. Your future reaper. Zagu gritted his teeth and yelled a few times, his eyes were full of unwillingness, but at this time, what can he do if he is unwilling? He has been severely injured. Facing the strong Nangang Lei of the same rank, he has no confidence in defeating him, and may even encounter an accident. He scanned Fang Fan's body with sinister eyes, and then fled crazily. Nangang Lei chased him for a while and then turned back. He was also in the 5-star sanctuary realm. Although Zaku was injured at the moment, it was not so easy to catch up with him and kill him. With Zaku's withdrawal, the surviving diehards of the Dark Camp are also in the same place, completely losing their confidence in continuing to fight. The Great Retreat is here. Victory! We won. The bastards of the Dark Camp were beaten away by us. Victory belongs to us. Fight, fight, fight. The Archbishop Nangang Lei in red is mighty. Hall Master Fang Fan is mighty. Mighty. The army is determined, and the morale is like a rainbow. Fang Fan rode on the back of the colorful little female dragon Annie, and rushed directly to meet Bai Biao. At this moment, Bai Biao doesn't have a piece of good meat all over his body. The blood has soaked all his clothes. Use the healing card. Quickly use the healing card. You idiot. Fang Fan gritted his teeth, took a deep breath, his eyes full of worry. Bai Biao took the injury for him, and blocked the attack for him. Fang Fan always remembered it in his heart. Call. No. It's okay, just this little attack power, what is it? Ft. While Bai Biao was yelling, he spit out a mouthful of reverse blood again, his whole body kept swaying, and his eyes became eager. But at this moment, I can still persevere to the end. Such mental thoughts are churning in my mind, and everything is not over yet. Do you have no healing card? I have it here, you heal quickly. Fang Fan took out a stack of healing cards, thinking about healing Bai Biao. Don't bother. Cough, cough, let me rest for a while. Today's 10 healing card opportunities have all been used up. Huh, who would have known that bastard would attack so hard? It seems that my golden body is still not perfect enough, I need to practice more. Bai Biao let out a mouthful of turbid air, panting heavily and laughing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1533. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched. This guy, never admit defeat. It's all like this, and there is a lot of nonsense. Have a good rest. Judge the Unicorn Legion. Give Bai Biao a good treatment for his injuries. And this rejuvenation pill, you also took it? I can't use the healing card for the time being, so just use these to make do with it. Fang Fan looked at Bai Biao, then patted Bai Biao's shoulder and said caringly. Hall Master Fang Fan. This time you have made outstanding achievements. On behalf of the Temple of the Light Alliance, I would like to express my sincere thanks to you. Nangong Lei, the red-clothed Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, landed from the sky, and then stood in front of Fang Fan with a persistent face, his eyes showing extreme gratitude and appreciation. My lord, the Archbishop in red, is serious. These are what I should do. It is my great honor to be able to do something for the Temple of the Alliance of Light. I was born for the light. I am willing to fight to the death for the gods of light. Fang Fan said solemnly, the words in his words were sonorous and powerful, and they sounded as if they were real. Don't worry about other things, at least you must pretend to be imposing. This wave after wave, just don't be cowardly. Since you want to lurk into the Temple of the Alliance of Light and become the Archbishop, you must first let go of your airs. I have rarely seen such a pure light believer. Even in the area where the Temple of the Alliance of Light is located, it's hard to find a few existences with a high degree of faith like Hall Master Fang Fan. The gods of light will surely bless his most sincere believers. Hall Master Fang Fan, your future is limitless. Nangong Lei, the red-clothed Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, was all smiles, and seemed very satisfied with Fang Fan's attitude. Thank you, Lord Cardinal, for your praise. If I can serve the gods of light in this life and become a member of the Temple of the Light Alliance, that is my ultimate pursuit. Fang Fan's eyeballs rolled, and he began to try to see. After talking so much nonsense, this sentence hits the point. It's all nonsense to say 1,000 words and 10,000 words. Fang Fan's ultimate goal is to enter the Temple of the Alliance of Light. Needless to say how high the threshold of the Temple of the Alliance of Light is. If no one recommends it, it will be too difficult for a layman like Fang Fan to enter, and they have already formed their own small circle. Hall Master Fang Fan really thinks so. Nangong Lei, the red-clothed Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light suddenly raised his head, his eyes revealed a look of astonishment, and then he narrowed his eyes, sighing secretly. Of course. If you can join the Temple of the Light Alliance and become a believer in the great gods of light, you will die without regret. Fang Fan squinted his eyes and glanced at Nangong Lei, seeing the thoughtful look on his face, he immediately struck while the iron was hot. Everyone on our side is willing to establish a contract with the gods. If you enter the gate of the Temple of the Alliance of Light in this life, you will definitely fight to the end for the benefit of the Temple of the Alliance of Light and the great gods of light. If you break the contract, you will be destroyed. You will fall into hell. Fang Fan is definitely an expert in acting. Wave after wave of words came in an endless stream, although it wasn't nonsense, but it wasn't too bad. But on the scene, these words are the most beautiful. Master Fang Fan, your divinity makes me ashamed. Although I am the Cardinal Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, in terms of faith, I am not as good as you. Hey, although I have asked myself to be sincere in my belief in the gods of light, but if I am asked to make a contract with the gods, I am still a little scared. Hall Master Fang Fan, I admire you. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1534. Nangong Lei, the red-clothed Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, spoke with more earnest eyes. If you are willing to come to the Temple of the Light Alliance, I, Nangong Lei, will be the recommender. Nangong Lei looked at Fang Fan very sincerely, as if he had genuine feelings for him. Fang Fan opened his mouth, feeling somewhat guilty. After all, the Archbishop in red seemed to treat him sincerely. But in an instant, this guilt disappeared. White lies are also necessary. Thank you, Archbishop in red. This kindness will never be forgotten. Fang Fan slapped his chest loudly, and then subconsciously clenched his fists. If he can pass this line and directly become the fourth-rank Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, then the initial task of Latent will be completed. He will be able to obtain 10,000 strands of God's source power. Fang Fan took a deep breath, his breathing seemed a little rapid, his eyes were shining brightly, and the excitement in his heart was very real. Such thoughts churned in his mind and gradually became real. Haha, don't thank me, I also want to thank you for joining our Temple of the Alliance of Light. When you return to the Temple of the Alliance of Light, I will handle this matter for you immediately. Also, this time you beheaded a third-rank red-robed dark envoy from the Dark Camp, and I will give you the credit for this. When the time comes to the Temple of the Alliance of Light, go and exchange contribution points. There may be some unexpected gains at that time. Nangonglei nodded while talking, now he looked at Fang Fan more and more refreshed. Fang Fan is strong in combat, nice in speech, flattering, and loyal to the gods of light, who doesn't like it? After the battle, the group continued to run towards the location of the Temple of the Light Alliance in the Qingtian Sanctuary. The hearty laughter and happy conversation between Fang Fan and Nangonglei were naturally observed by everyone. In this battle, everyone has seen the combat power of the red-clothed Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. The combat power of the five-star sanctuary is extraordinary. More importantly, Nangonglei is also the Cardinal Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, and enjoys the third-rank priesthood of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. The status is even more respected. Looking at it from every angle, this is simply an unattainable existence for these third-rank and fourth-rank forces. And it is such an existence, treating Fang Fan like a close friend, that can explain the problem. Chen Tianyuan, the patriarch of the Chen clan who followed him, shrugged his shoulders in admiration and said, "This kid can make a fool of himself wherever he goes." Before he even reached the Temple of the Alliance of Light, he hooked up his Archbishop in red. Fortunately, he was my son-in-law back then. If this was the enemy, it would be terrible. Chen Tianyuan thought in his heart, the smiles on his face became more and more, and he felt a little proud and arrogant. The area where the 10,000 Monsters Alliance is located. Tianhu Meyer, the saint of the Tianhu clan with a cold face, stood aside, looking very indifferent. Cough, Heavenly Fox Saintess, yes, that's it. You see, we are all allies with Hall Master Fang Fan. I think what you said before is right. My ancestor and I also thought about it separately, and we still think there is something wrong with us. It is necessary to continue to form an alliance with the human Emperor's palace. After all, we were allies before. In the future, when we fight with practitioners from the Dark Camp, we can help each other, right? Heavenly Eagle Quasi-Sage, the elder of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance, said with a smile on his face. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 1535. Oh, if Elder Tianying wants to form an alliance, he can go to Hall Master Fang Fan himself. Why tell me? Tianhu Meyer turned her head to the side, pretending not to understand. Holy Fox Saintess, aren't your words too outlandish? No matter what, our 10,000 Monsters Alliance is a whole. This time, Palace Master Fang Fan was able to come out on top, and he was even able to establish a relationship with the Red Clothes Archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. Naturally, the future is boundless. It would be great if our 10,000 Monsters Alliance can catch up with this opportunity. This time, your Tianhu clan's army of Hall Master Fang Fan has given you help in a timely manner, and the relationship has been handled well. Tianying Zunchen didn't shy away from his purpose at all. While talking, the smiles on his face became more obvious. Is that what the ancestor also meant? Tianhu Meyer looked directly at the white-haired old man. In the past, this majestic ancestor of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance actually showed a flattering smile at this moment. Meyer, little girl, you should follow Elder Tianying's arrangement on this matter. Borrow this relationship between you and Fang Fan to deal with the alliance. Although our 10,000 Monsters Alliance is a third-rank force, once the War of Gods breaks out, what is the third-rank force? but if we can form an alliance with Fang Fan, everything it's different, not to mention his relationship with the Nangong Lei Hong-I Archbishop at the moment, but the elite combat power under his command is also extremely strong. Even the 4-star sanctuary of the Dark Camp can be killed. This is something I never thought of before. Meyer, little girl, you still have a unique vision and thoughtful consideration beforehand. As the ancestor Bailey of the Wanyao Alliance said, his face gradually flushed. Naturally, such a good opportunity cannot be wasted like this. Naturally, we should cherish it and make good use of it, strive for a wave of rise. Old Elder Tianying, I can't help you with this. Tianhu Meyer shook her head, then stepped back a few steps, with a look of disappointment on her face. What's your attitude? Patriarch Bailey of Wanyao Alliance's complexion darkened, and he seemed very dissatisfied. He felt that he had already let go of his stance, and he was still talking nonsense here? Holy Fox Saintess, hurry up and promise Patriarch, don't make Patriarch angry. The quasi-sage Tianying also hurriedly advised from the side. Sister Tianhu, what the ancestor said is always right. Baelixi stepped forward and pulled Tianhu Meyer's clothes, and said in a coquettish tone. Tianhu Meyer broke free from Baelixi's restraint, her eyes became colder and colder. Everyone, don't say that I don't have such a big face with Hall Master Fang Fan. Even if I did, I wouldn't do this. We were indeed allies before. We had a close relationship. But at the beginning, Palace Master Fang Fan offered an olive branch, and it was you who chose to refuse because of fear of Haoshan Pavilion. When the human emperor's palace army was at a critical juncture, when did you think of rushing to help? Have you ever thought about the so-called friendship of allies? Now that it's profitable, all ghosts and snakes will come out? Hee, forgive me. After Tianhu Meyer finished speaking, she took a deep breath. She felt that her heart was much more relaxed after speaking. I don't know why, but from the bottom of her heart, she doesn't want Fang Fan to be hurt. She also knows very well that the alliance of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance is fake, but the truth is that it is true to be attached to vampirism. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1536. There is no sincerity at all, so talking about other things is also bullshit. Tianhu Meyer. Do you know what you're talking about? You are a cultivator of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance. The Skyfox clan is still in the 10,000 Monsters Alliance. What is right and what is wrong? You have to figure it out yourself. Patriarch Bailey of Wanyao Alliance snorted coldly, with an unhappy expression on his face. In fact, there are many things that everyone understands, but what you don't understand is far from how you say it. Some unspoken rules are to be carried out in secret, to tear the face, and it is not good looking to anyone. Yell. It's so lively. In the distance, Fang Fan galloped over on a colorful dragon with a smile on his face. Seeing Fang Fan's arrival, the faces of Patriarch Bailey of Wanyao Alliance and Quasi-Sage Tianying suddenly changed, and they felt more or less uneasy at the moment. As for Tianhu Meyer, when she saw Fang Fan's arrival, a smile appeared on her face, she gritted her teeth, and her eyes were full of surprise. Fang, Hall Master Fang Fan, why are you here? Tianying Zunchen forced a smile, and then walked over with a flattering face. I'm here to form an alliance. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and then he said lightly. Alliance. Hall Master Fang Fan, you want to form an alliance? Master Fang Fan is really different from ordinary people. Being able to form an alliance with you is a great blessing for our 10,000 Monsters Alliance. Once our 10,000 Monsters Alliance and the Human Emperor's Palace of Palace Master Fang Fan unite, it will be considered a strong alliance. At that time, who will dare to do anything to us? Hall Master Fang Fan really understands righteousness. The Skyhawk Quasi-Sage came over and started a wave of bragging. The words on the scene are quite good, analyzing and considering from various aspects and angles, trying to make this kind of alliance into a hype. Little friend Fang Fan can unite with my 10,000 Monsters Alliance, and my 10,000 Monsters Alliance will be waiting for me. I heard that the relationship between little friend Fang Fan and our Sky Fox Saintess of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance is irreversible. Haha, we old guys can't care about young people's affairs. Little friend Fang Fan is a young hero, the palace of the Emperor is in full swing, and little friend Fang Fan has an inseparable relationship with the Archbishop in Red, and his future is limitless. From now on, our 10,000 Monsters Alliance and Fang Fan's friend Fang Fan's Human Emperor's Palace offensive and defensive alliance will help each other. Patriarch Bailey of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance took a deep breath, and then said excitedly, his eyes flickered, obviously extremely excited. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, a playful look suddenly appeared on his face. Hall Master Fang Fan. Tianhu opened her mouth, with a look of displeasure on her face, but in the end she didn't say anything. After all, she also hopes that the 10,000 Monsters Alliance can become better. Fang Fan smiled calmly, and then pressed his hand down, signaling to Tianhu that there is no need to say more. Holy Fox Saintess, you and I form an alliance. From now on we will fight together. Fang Fan looked at Tianhu and immediately threw out an olive branch. This was his ultimate goal. Master Fang Fan, you may not know that although the Saintess of the Sky Fox has a noble status, but, the only one who can form an alliance on behalf of our 10,000 Monsters Alliance is Patriarch Bailey, please. Seeing that Fang Fan didn't pay attention to Patriarch Bailey at all, Quasi-Sage Tianying hurried forward to remind him. Oh, you mean that the Tianhu Saintess cannot represent the 10,000 Monsters Alliance? The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and he asked indifferently. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1537. Zunchen Tianying nodded quickly when he heard the words, yes, it is indeed the case, Hall Master Fang Fan, I think. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth showed a sarcasm, who said I want to form an alliance with the 10,000 Monsters Alliance. The object I want to form an alliance with is the Sky Fox clan of the Heavenly Fox Saintess. The 10,000 Monsters Alliance also wants to form an alliance with my Human Emperor Hall. Match. As soon as Fang Fan said that, the audience was horrified. This is so arrogant to the extreme. Every word and deed is a kind of momentum. The smile on Tianying Zunchen's face stagnated for an instant. Tianhu opened her red lips, her beautiful eyes were full of surprise. As for the Patriarch Bailey of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance, his complexion has already turned black at this moment. Wanyao Alliance also wants to form an alliance with my Human Emperor Palace. Does it match? This sentence is too strong. Their 10,000 Monsters Alliance is also a third-rank force. Why, how come I don't even have the qualifications to form an alliance? Everyone looked at each other, and the excitement in their eyes was beyond words. Don't Master Fang Fan feel that he is a bit too arrogant in saying these words? My 10,000 Monsters Alliance is not an existence that can be bullied by anyone who wants to be bullied. Patriarch Bailey of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance had a cold face, with murderous intent in his eyes, such thoughts were churning wildly in his mind. Is it? Then I been bullied today, what can you do? Blood Shuro Legion. With Fang Fan's order, the 7 one-star Sanctuary Realm Blood Shuras of the Blood Shuro Legion went directly to the Bailey Patriarch of the 10,000 Monsters Alliance. The complexion of Bailey Patriarch of Wanyao Alliance changed drastically, his eyes were full of horror, he found that these people were actually one-star sanctuary realm. A total of 7 one-star sanctuary realms. And each of them has extraordinary combat power. Bailey Patriarch trembled his lips, and secretly estimated in his heart, in fact, he is also a one-star sanctuary, and even because he has studied in the one-star sanctuary for 9 years, he can be regarded as relatively the powerful veteran one-star sanctuary. But in front of the 7 red-robed practitioners around him, he felt that if he fought one-on-one, he would lose within 100 moves. Fang Fan can kill even the strong 4-star sanctuary of the Dark Camp, how can he be an ordinary person? If my 10,000 Monsters Alliance confronts him directly. Patriarch Bailey of Wanyao Alliance trembled physically and mentally, and he felt a sense of fear from the heart. But even the Patriarch of the Sanctuary is used to pretending on weekdays, so it is not realistic for him to bow his head at this moment. Fang, little friend Fang Fan, what do you mean? My Wanyao Alliance has never thought of being an enemy of you. Even if the alliance fails, it won't be a confrontation. The ancestor Bailey of the Wanyao Alliance forcibly pulled a smile, looking extremely humble. Being besieged by others, you can only smile at it. This is a great shame. I just can't bear to see you bullying a little girl, so I want to teach you a lesson. What? Don't accept it? Let the horse come here, my hands are itchy. Fang Fan grinned proudly. In the era of the jungle, fists are the ultimate rule. As for the rest, meaningless and worthless. Patriarch Bailey of Wanyao Alliance's complexion became more obvious. If I frankly beat him well, do I need you to remind me? I rushed over a long time ago, or I was a little cowardly. When Tianhu Meyer heard Fang Fan's words, her beautiful eyes were full of surprise. He came to vent his anger on me. Why did he vent his anger on me, and support me, and form an alliance with our Tianhu clan? Could it be, he really likes me? Tianhu Meyer was thinking in her heart, her face flushed for a while, she subconsciously touched her chest, feeling the pounding. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1538. Women's divergent thinking is generally not very good, but their single-point fantasy ability is relatively strong. Grasp a certain detail, and then start a comprehensive study. Fang, Hall Master Fang Fan. Tianhu Meyer suddenly called out sweetly, and Fang Fan stood there with a dazed expression on his face. What's the matter with this woman? This cry, unexpectedly sweet. It's out of the sky. It's a far cry from what it used to be. Well, what's the matter? Fang Fan's head was full of black lines, but he still raised his head and asked. Master Fang Fan, can you let Patriarch Bailey and Quasi-Sage Sky Eagle go? Please. Tianhu Meyer's posture was very low, while she was talking, her eyes were slightly lowered. Fang Fan fell into silence. They didn't treat you very well just now. They even wanted to coerce you directly. Now you speak for them instead. Fang Fan shrugged and smiled lightly. Tianhu Meyer sighed softly, then shook her head silently and said, anyway, the 10,000 Monsters Alliance is my home, I don't want them to suffer any harm. Tianhu Meyer's face gradually showed a look of distress. After this incident, even if she basically severed her relationship with the 10,000 Monsters Alliance, if she continued to stay in the 10,000 Monsters Alliance, she would only be excluded and treated specially. Fang Fan saw everything in his eyes, and this time the Tianhu tribe was treated like this because of him. Although their assistance did not have any substantive effect on Fang Fan he and Zhan Zhan, they were indeed kind, and the kindness of a drop of water should be repaid by a spring. This has always been clear. From today, Human Emperor's Palace and Skyfox clan have officially become allies. Whoever has trouble with Skyfox clan will have trouble with Human Emperor's Palace. He will have trouble with Fang Fan. The sword in my hand is drawn for my allies at any time. Holy Fox Saintess, bring your clansmen and act together with our army from human emperor's palace. Fang Fan smiled silently, then made arrangements, and even made a gentle gesture of invitation. Thank you, Hall Master Fang Fan. I understand what you mean. As long as you want, I am willing. Tianhu suddenly turned red, her hands were tightly pinched on her sleeves, and she looked very nervous. Fang Fan. At this moment, he is completely confused. Is he missing something? Or is it too inconsiderate? It's just an invitation to form an alliance. As for being so excited? Well, as long as the Tianhu Saintess is willing, let's go. Fang Fan glanced at Tianhu, and then strode ahead to lead the way. He felt that Tianhu, the saint of the Tianhu tribe, might have some problems. Tianhu looked at Fang Fan, who had resolutely left, with strong doubts shining in her big eyes. According to the normal development of the plot, shouldn't you put your arms around me, and take me away presumptuously? Thinking of this, Tianhu blushed even more. What was going on with her now? Why was she thinking so much about these messy pictures? I am the virgin of the Tianhu family. Hoo-ha, am I so no market now? Tianhu head was full of wild thoughts, all kinds of ideas were piled up crazily. At this moment, Fang Fan has already gone far away, and is getting closer to the Temple of the Alliance of Light. A new battlefield is about to arrive. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1539. The location of the Temple of the Light Alliance is actually at the edge of the Qingtian Sanctuary. And the Dark Temple is also on the edge of the Broken Soul Demon Realm, so to a certain extent, the distance between the two is also the shortest. Once the War of Gods starts, it will basically be an attack between the Temple of the Light Alliance and the Temple of Darkness. Every outbreak of God's war must be mixed with various dangers. The situation is not optimistic. My son-in-law, don't be careless. The patriarch of the Chentian clan, Chen Tianyuan, was talking in a rambling manner, with a serious expression on his face. Obviously, he knows more and more comprehensive information, and it can be seen that he should have done some homework before this. Fang Fan nodded silently, but didn't say much, just fell into a slight silence. All he is thinking about now is how to lurk into the Temple of the Alliance of Light and obtain a certain high-level priesthood. He needs to gather a batch of God's origin power as soon as possible. Everyone be quiet. The Temple of the Alliance of Light has arrived. According to my previous promise to you, the cultivators of the Dark Camp that you killed during your visit can receive contribution points with their heads. Before you came, you didn't issue a bright contribution order, so you can't record the contribution points, and you can only calculate them in this way. After you receive the bright contribution order, you won't have so much trouble. Okay, I won't say anything superfluous. You follow the queue, and each faction can send a few representatives. Nan Gonglei, the red-clothed archbishop of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, yelled, and everyone looked sideways. Nan Gonglei had reminded him about the matter of exchanging human heads for contribution points, which is understandable. Fang Fan is now mainly curious about the prices of the heads he collected. After a preliminary count, there are 1.7 million heads of cultivators in the Dark Camp and more than 100 heads of the quasi-sacred realm. In addition, there are 3 1-star sanctuaries, 1 2-star sanctuary and 1 4-star sanctuary. This is all the achievements of the Human Emperor's Palace. Although the Chentian clan who fought with the Human Emperor's Palace had less harvest, they still had millions of honors from the heads of the Emperor's realm. The major forces lined up in a long queue in an orderly manner. Fang Fan and others were a little slower, and they were already at the end of the queue. Standing in front of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, there is a feeling of vastness. The Temple of the Alliance of Light is located on the edge of the Sky Sanctuary, in the Holy City of Light. The location is in the middle of the Holy City of Light, and at a glance, there are countless palaces and halls, and the towering halls everywhere are particularly spectacular. The Holy City of Light is the core of the entire Qingtian Sanctuary, and the Temple of the Alliance of Light is the core of the entire Holy City of Light. Of course, this core does not refer to the representative position, but lies in its status, its comprehensive strength and the flow of people. Now that the divine battle between the light camp and the dark camp is imminent, the Temple of the Light Alliance is even more lively. According to the mission requirements of the dog system, if you want to complete the ultimate goal of the latent mission, you must become the ultimate boss of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, that is, become the Pope of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, and become the master of this place. Fang Fan meditated secretly in his heart, and there were bright lights in his eyes. Before, he more or less didn't care about this kind of task, but now, Fang Fan is full of motivation. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1540. In troubled times, take power. In troubled times, be strong. Only in this way can we better protect the human race and those we care about. The queue like a long dragon is gradually shrinking, and gradually, Fang Fan and the others are about to be lined up. It's too dark. So much was deducted directly. Shameless. Shameless especially. He, otherwise, what can we do? They are people from the temple, what should we use to fight them? Why don't we just do what they say? A group of blood-sucking bastards. If I draw 10% to 20%, I'll admit it. Idiot. Just take away 90% of the contribution points. Labor and management have worked so hard to save such a head, is it easy? Be patient, bear with it, don't look for trouble, this is their territory, since they dare to do this, there must be big bosses behind them, there is no need to hit a stone with an egg. Hey, I also know this truth. I just talk about it. It really makes me go up and contradict me. I don't have the guts. They ate meat, so at least they left a mouthful of soup, didn't they? It will be great when we have the bright contribution token. It is said that this kind of bright contribution token directly records the contribution points, and then we won't be deducted more than half of it by these bastards. Hee, brother, are you still dreaming? If someone wants to punish you, do you think you can escape? Don't deceive yourself, we are so humble. A series of whispers of abuse came from the surroundings, and these voices all came from the leaders of the major forces who had just exchanged their heads for contribution points. At this moment, their faces were full of anger, and they were cursing behind their backs, but they didn't dare to speak up directly in front of the priests of the Temple of Light Alliance. It is said that they are all vulnerable groups. My son-in-law, don't be impulsive. We're new here, or, let's go with the flow. Chen Tianyuan noticed that something was wrong with Fang Fan's face, and he knew Fang Fan's temper well, so he quickly dissuaded him from the side. Father-in-law, I know how to measure, and I won't act rashly. Fang Fan shrugged, his face full of casualness. He came to the Temple of the Alliance of Light to be a big boss, so naturally he wouldn't go and argue with these little guys. Of course, the premise is not to go too far. Soon, it was Fang Fan's turn to exchange his head for contribution points. In front of Fang Fan was a rather delicate mahogany long table. On the table, there were some papers on which something was being recorded. On the side, there were stacks of things in the shape of tokens, all of which were white in color, with the words Guangming and Ling. Fang Fan guessed that this should be the bright contribution order. It can be used to record contribution points by itself. Beside the table, there were 3 clergymen from the Temple of the Alliance of Light, one was recording, one was checking, and the other was supposed to be a slightly higher-ranking clergyman, with his head held high and his posture proud. Report the head count. You only need to check the number of true kings, emperors, quasi-sacred, and holy realms. Among the heads of the true king realm, regardless of level, all of them are 0.01 contribution points. The head of the emperor's realm is not divided into levels, all of them are a contribution point. The quasi-sacred heads are not divided into grades, all of them are 100 contribution points. As soon as you arrive at the 3-star sanctuary, which belongs to the low-level sanctuary, you will get 10,000 contribution points. 4 to 6-star sanctuaries belong to the middle-level sanctuary realm, with millions of contribution points. One of the priests said it systematically, as if repeating a scripture, very familiar.